everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Linette with the Laurel County Public Library, and today we're going to make something that is absolutely delicious. We're going to make cabbage roll soup. Now this is a recipe that I got from my sister several years ago, and it is a favorite, especially for me and Elena, because we both love cabbage. So if you love cabbage rolls, you know that they take a little bit of effort to make. They're not horrible, but they are a little bit time consuming. The cabbage roll soup goes together very quickly. So, come over here, let me show you what I've got so far. I took a little, the recipe called for a pound of hamburger meat. I took a little bit more than a pound, just because I wanted to make sure that there was plenty. I'm taking this to school tomorrow. My friend Shannon's birthday is tomorrow, so this is gonna be our lunch. So I've browned that hamburger. I salt and peppered it, browned it, drained it off. I'm going to add to that 1.5 teaspoons of sweet paprika and 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme. Okay, so I'm just going to put that in there and let it go. And we're going to chop up an onion. That's always fun, isn't it? Especially to make you cry. This is going to take a whole large onion. Okay, so just have your Kleenex ready and start chopping. So 1 whole large onion and 3 garlic cloves. You want to chop these up pretty fine. Try not to cry. Whoops. Knocked the pan down. Just ignore that. Oh, hope it don't come. Okay, so 1 large onion, 3 cloves of garlic chopped up. I'm gonna put these back in here and stir this up good. Just kind of let it simmer for a few minutes. Let that onion kind of soften up a little bit. You know, if you cook, you know that once you put onion and hamburger in the same skillet, your house is going to start smelling like supper's ready. So, there's kind of a chunk of that. I don't like the looks of it. I'm going to take that out. All right. So we're just going to leave that there for just a few minutes. Kind of let it do its thing. Okay. So while that's working, let's talk recipes. One of the first things I ever made was cornbread. We did not sit down to eat in the evenings without there being some form of bread. Sometimes it was homemade biscuits, and most of the time it was cornbread. Sometimes it would be fried cornbread. And you know, cornbread is kind of like sweet tea. The farther south you go, the sweeter it gets. Well, I found this little cookbook at the library the other day, and I have just enjoyed flipping through this and looking at it, because every little group of people seems like has their own version of cornbread and how it should be. So to me, cornbread and cabbage just go really well together. So if you are interested in cornbread, this is the Cornbread Gospels, and I have just truly enjoyed it, so maybe you will too. And remember, don't forget to download the app if you've not already done that. Get on the website for the library and check it out. Okay, so back to our soup here. We've got that onion and garlic in there, and they are doing their thing. If you have never had a cabbage roll, let me kind of describe it to you. They take a leaf of cabbage and blanch it. And basically everything that we're putting in this soup today gets stuffed inside that head of cabbage. You'll have usually a rice component, you'll have hamburger, you'll have onions, and you'll have some form of a tomato that all comes together. Roll it up very neatly, tuck in the leaves, and you usually put them like in a casserole dish. Then you make like a tomatoey type sauce and put over top of them and bake them. They're very, very good. especially if you do like cabbage. Okay, so this is coming to a head. Let me show you what else we're going to add to it. I have a stock pot here. I'm going to put 8 ounces of tomato sauce. Okay, has to be lots of tomato components here. So 8 ounces of tomato sauce, and then 2 14.5 ounce cans of petite diced tomatoes. I love the petite diced. They're one of my favorites. I'm not a big fan of big chunks of tomatoes, but some people are. Okay, so that's going to go good. Now, 5 cups of beef broth. I'll add that in. This is actually a very easy soup to put together. I'll tell y'all a story though. My nephew Jonathan got married a few years ago, and they wanted this soup as part of their wedding. So I made several gallons of this soup. They all got it eaten at the wedding though, so that should tell you something. It was good. We did that, and we did chicken noodle, and it was all gone. So you can serve this with a rice, white rice, brown rice, whatever you like. Or if you want to make you some cornbread to go with it, do that too. Okay, so that onion has started to soften up a little bit, so I'm going to say that we're done on that. Now I'm going to add to this tomato concoction here 4 cups of cut up cabbage. Now I had a small head of cabbage, and this is honestly about half of that head, and you can see that I cut it pretty small. I mean, it's just kind of small little pieces there. So 4 cups of that into this broth and tomato mixture. Okay, and then I'm going to add to that the meat component. Now we're going to let this come to a boil, and then when it does, I'm going to reduce the heat and let it simmer for about 35 minutes, and it'll be good to go. Let me stir it up here and kind of get a... Oh, it's going to be good, people. It's going to be good. Okay, so I'm going to put the lid on, let it do its thing. You'll check back with us in about 30 minutes. We'll see how good it is. Okay, everyone, you ready for some cabbage soup? Now this takes about 30 minutes or so to simmer to cook the cabbage. And again, normally you'd serve it up with white rice, brown rice, whatever your preference is. I didn't do that tonight. I'll let y'all see. Oh, it is so good. That sweet paprika in it just kind of adds that little bit of It's so good. Now, if you taste it and it's a little bit too tomatoey to you and you're not real happy about that, put a teaspoon or so of sugar, and that'll kind of knock that acidity off from the tomatoes. But give it a try. Very low carb, so can't go wrong with that. All right, folks, we will see you next time. Enjoy.